What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. Messed up and out of touch, let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Making sure my volumes are somewhat accurate. I think I got the lights a little high in here though. Hang on a second. Oh, yeah. Compared to what I usually do? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. And I didn't even put up the other ones. I was kind of rushing around a little bit right before the show. And, of course, 10 minutes before the show starts, Blue had to go potty. I remembered she hadn't had her medicine. And, yeah. But I'm here. And, holy cow. This morning when I got up, I already had 18 headlines waiting for me to go through. And, my goodness. Now, it feels a bit awkward because I titled the show tonight. Exactly what did I title it? I titled it that one thing. I don't remember, but something about, how we should be more concerned about what's going on essentially in Davos than what we should war. And, humanity's biggest threat comes from here, not war. And that was a picture of Davos. And then I get slapped in the face. I get slapped in the face with the headlines today. And there's really no way that you could say that it's not war. But in my defense, I will say that the individuals pulling the strings for all these wars were in Davos. So, I mean, it's one and the same, really. Just not long ago this evening, U.S. has launched new strikes on Yemen, and the Houthis have struck another vessel, a U.S. vessel. And that's just what's going on in the Middle East. We've got stuff going on with Russia and Ukraine. And, man, I've got some interesting information to bring you about the old Army jab jab thing. And I'm not going to be able to tell you what it says, but I will show you the article. I will give you time to read it for yourself. Because I don't know what else to do. I can't say it. I clearly can't say it. I want to emphasize one thing tonight. And please listen to me. Work diligently to make sure that your ducks are in a row. Now, I can't stand all the alarmist YouTube channels. You guys know that. But it's getting time. It's getting time. There is just so much unrest, and it's all unfolding so quickly that it literally is at a flashpoint. Many of these different conflicts right now are at a flashpoint. And just to make things fun, if you will, it seems like things between Pakistan and Iran, and I want to remind you that Pakistan has nukes. Things between Pakistan and Iran are apparently heating up. So that is something else we need to put on our radar. Yeah, you would have thought that Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Hamas and, what seems to be imminent, China and Taiwan, things are heating up, North Korea, South Korea, and now we get to throw Pakistan and Iran into the mix. And, of course, let's not forget there's possible conflict that's going to be starting in Africa. So, now I can't speak a whole lot to World War I, World War II, because I wasn't around then, and I haven't done immense amounts of studying about those wars. Just being honest. And I don't know if the world was so lit up during that time or not. I don't believe so. I can't speak to World War One. But World War II, I don't think so. I mean, I get that there were a lot of nations involved in World War II, but it was one war. It was one war. Here we've got so many wars, so many places, and you better bet that when things really start flying, things are going to get out of control in a hurry. The difference, obviously, between, say, World War II and today are things like nuclear weapons, are things like cyber warfare. I mean, it's up in the air. And I mean, literally, I don't even know how to word it. We're in for a hell of a time, I do believe. And then, of course, we've got YouTube cracking down on people that don't appreciate all the advertising. I know that's little beans. We've got a federal law going into place that's going to be restricting what the highway departments can put on their signs. No, I'm not kidding. And I don't have it. I had it up in the headlines, but I've got 11 headlines, so I took it down. It's really not that important, but Arnold Schwarzenegger got detained in Germany. Apparently, he had some type of a luxury watch in his baggage that got searched. And they found the luxury watch, and he was detained and apparently getting fined and under investigation for possible tax evasion involving this watch. So, I mean, if there's a good cherry on top of the news tonight, I'm going to pick the Arnold Schwarzenegger story for the cherry on top. But, I actually had it up to talk about it, but I had all these other, and most of them are about the conflicts. Grab me a couple of drinks of tea since I'm depriving myself of coffee in the evenings. And it's actually working out pretty well. I'm kind of sleeping kind of well. I think I may have made a mistake the last couple of nights, and I wore sweatshirt, pajamas, socks, all that to bed, and I think I got a little too hot. The last 2 nights, I keep waking up. I just out of just nowhere, I keep waking up, and I think what's happening is I'm having nightmares, and I don't remember them. I can't be sure that's what's going on, but I think I'm having nightmares, and it's waking me up. So gotta fix that. Got up this morning, found out the LED driver for my grow lights is shooting craps. It's pretty much done with. It's doing the light blinky thing, and it's not supposed to be doing the light blinky thing. So yeah, it's dead. That's another $50 I gotta figure out how to come up with. Huh. And that's again small beans, considering everything that's going on around the world. Believe me, my problems aren't important. A dog found, and then now a kitten. Got all kinds of pets being found. Ooh, that's a pretty cat. That's a pretty cat. I'd like to have that cat. And I mean that. I didn't mean to rhyme either, but I'd definitely like to have that kitty. That's a pretty kitty. Pretty kitty. I've only got 5 gazillion windows up, so bear with me. I told you, a pretty kitty. I'd love to have that cat. That's an awesome looking cat. Kind of evil, pissed off looking, but awesome nonetheless. I love cats. Don't worry, I like dogs too. Just fine. I'm gonna get so huffed. I am gonna get so huffed. So anyway, Hammy and Sons Ginger Peach. Is that actually tea or what? Oh, okay. This is just I don't think it's Lipton. What's the other big brand? Louisiane. This is just Louisiane, just regular, normal tea. Without the HC. Well, I'm trying to get the grow light going for him. Anyway, I've been out for a few weeks, but, that's the thing about self-control. I hear people speak, and I do hear them speak. But it's kind of humorous. Bear was talking one day not too long ago about addictions and whatnot, and how we have to, be mindful of that and make sure that we don't fall prey to that. Oh, I see that. Cool. The fancy stuff that comes in a tin. I thought it was kind of a humorous thing because if you haven't realized, he doesn't like weed all that much. And he's got a pretty negative opinion about it. I don't get it. That's one of the reasons why I'm suspect as far as him being a Fed. I'm going to be straight up. I'm very suspect of him being a Fed. And that's one of the big reasons why. Not only that, but he loves to kiss leather boots. I mean, clearly loves to kiss leather boots, and he's constantly telling people about how they need to get their sheriff involved in what they're doing, and that's frickin' nonsense. That is frickin' nonsense. If you think there's corruption now, oh, you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing till that doo-doo pile hits that fan, and that's when the corruption's really going to start, and it's going to get really ugly and nasty. And why in the hell would you want to let them know exactly where you are or who you are? That's the thing about our group. Mum's the word. Mum is the word. And then some. I won't share with anybody about a single person that is in our group. Nope. Not gonna happen. Why? Nobody needs to know. It's nobody's business. And I'm not just saying that like in an outwardly say towards YouTube. I mean here locally. Nobody's damn business who's in the group at all. None. There's a reason for that, and it's called security. And it's not because we've got some big crazy plan to take over and blah 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 blah. But let's face it, government couldn't pour piss out of a boot if the instructions were on bottom. And they are not going to be involved. They are not going to be a part. Nothing. Nothing. They don't need to know nothing. That's something that we all agreed on as a team from the very, very start. So I've actually had to get pissy with a few of the members because of different stuff that I've had to deal with here in town. There's been times they want to speak up. There's been times they want to step in and they want to do something. And I've actually had to get pretty pissy with them on a few different occasions and tell them, no. You don't know me. I don't know you. Let's keep it that way. And that's serving really well on many fronts, because at the same time, not only does that allow us to remain under operational security, but it also gives me inside information about different individuals in town, and likewise I could do the same. Well, on a little scale, because I'm pretty isolated, and that's one thing I told them from the beginning, is that don't expect me to be your best buddy. And it's nothing against them. It's nothing against anybody. I am that antisocial. And you know, really, many of them are professionals in different fields, and even outside of their work. And I would say that they probably spend a lot less time doing leisure type of stuff than what the average person does. But still then, they have their favorite sports, they have their favorite places to go out and eat and all that. And I'm not into any of that. And, I told them from the very get-go that I probably don't have a whole lot in common with you, and it's nothing against you. I'm just me, and I need to go be in my dark corner by myself. And they get it. And at first, I think some of them were a little bit, I don't want to say suspicious, but confused more than anything about me. And over time, a lot of them realized why I am the way I am and why I keep distance from society. I don't want to be like society. I was raised apart from that. And while I hated my dad for that when I was growing up, especially my teenage years, I couldn't thank him enough today. Could not thank him enough. With what I see, no thanks. No thanks. But anyway, and that's a model that I do highly recommend people follow. Not necessarily my model, but I mean the model of build your group. If you're going to build a group in advance, which I do recommend at least putting some together, but with the mindset, with the goal of helping others and building, because that's going to be your best time to build. After the SH is the TF, that's going to be the time to build. Because at that point in time, you're going to know who's made of what and how they're going to react. Up until that exact moment in time, you can bullshit yourself all you want. But you got to remember, it's just bullshit. So, because I've seen so many people, and all I got to do is ask one question to folks out there. Howdy, Steve. One question out there. How many people have you heard lately? And there's been a lot of real, strong Second Amendment supporters out there. How many of them have you heard out of my cold dead hands in years? Right? Everyone wants to be an operator till it's time to do operator shit. And that's a fact. Don't want to do the geezer whining. Oh, man. So anyway, we might want to get headed into this news direction because there's quite a bit of stuff that I need to go over, and most of what I have up is very important, very significant. All right. U.S. launches new strikes on Yemen, says media. Says United States reportedly launched a fresh wave of attacks against alleged militant targets across Yemen on Wednesday night, just hours after Washington designated the Houthi rebel group as a terrorist organization. The missile salvo was fired from U.S. Navy ships stationed in the Red Sea and targeted sites that were prepared to launch attacks. And seems like they already did, but CBS News and Associated Press reported, citing unnamed U.S. officials, over a dozen locations were said to have been hit in the strikes. The operation follows a Houthi strike against a U.S.-owned bulk carrier ship Genco Picardy in the Gulf of Aden earlier on Wednesday, Okay, so I should have probably had that other headline before this one, because this is the response to the next article I'm going to tell you about. The naval forces will not hesitate to target all sources of threat in the Red and Arabian Sea with the legitimate right to defend Yemen and continue supporting the oppressed Palestinian people, he added. U.S. Central Command, the agency responsible for overseeing operations in the Middle East and Central Asia, said there were no injuries in the attack and that the vessel remained seaworthy, but noted some damage to the ship. The attack on the cargo vessel comes on the heels of several similar strikes in recent weeks after the Houthis vowed to target any ship affiliated with Israel amid the ongoing war in Gaza. Washington has responded with 3 previous rounds of missile strikes on Houthi targets, and earlier on Wednesday announced the redesignation of the militant group as a terrorist organization. Houthis must be held accountable for their actions, but it should not be at the expense of the Yemeni civilians, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said in a statement. As the Department of State moves forward with this designation, we are taking significant steps to mitigate any adverse impacts this designation may have on the people of Yemen. So, kind of crazy. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't think it got did it get above freezing here? I don't remember. It was somewhere right around there. I don't know if we actually got above freezing or not. But, yeah, I think we did. I think I remember seeing 37 at some point today. So, that was a good thing. Finally able to keep up with the heaters and stuff, so. And that one's off for the moment. Oh. I got huffed. I don't know why that deserved a huff, but I got huffed. Houthis strike another U.S. vessel, and again, this should have been put before the last one. My apologies for that. Yemen's Houthi rebels have taken responsibility for the attack on a U.S.-owned cargo vessel, Genco Picardy, a spokesman. Wow, what is wrong with me? For the militant group announced on Wednesday. The United Kingdom Trade Organization had received a report of an attack on a merchant ship around 60 nautical miles southeast of the Yemeni port of Aden. Master reports vessel has been hit, I don't know why I can't read, on the port side by an uncrewed, I almost said unscrewed, but I didn't, well, until then, aerial system. They said in their incident report late on Wednesday, referring to a likely drone attack. The report said resulting fire was extinguished and that the vessel and crew were safe and proceeding to the next port of call. Houthi spokesman Brigadier General Yahya Suri claimed responsibility for the attack in a televised address, naming the vessel as U.S.-owned by Genco Picardy. The naval forces of the Yemeni Armed Forces carried out the targeting operation against the American ship in the Gulf of Aden, leaving direct hits, Suri said. He reiterated that Yemeni armed forces will not hesitate to target all sources of threat in the Arab and Red Seas within the legitimate right to defend dear Yemen and to continue supporting the oppressed Palestinian people. Someone in it, of course, tells you the backstory, which we're not going to go into. Tea. Caramel apple. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Had to swap out flavors today, so caramel apple it was. All right. Maybe not all right. Let's see. The Middle East is boiling. We will strike Iran, says the nuclear Pakistan. Recalls the ambassador in Tehran, which is a big deal. Says the situation in the wider region of the Middle East is chaotic after Iran's missile strikes in Iraq, which provoked strong reactions from the Iraqi government and the Kurds. Tehran launched airstrikes against targets on Pakistani soil, opening new fronts and escalating the cycle of violence. Pakistan, which has nuclear weapons, spoke on a violation of its national sovereignty and warned of harsh retaliation, while anger prevails in both Iraq and the Kurds over yesterday's crimes by Iran, with the Iraqis arguing that it is possible to suspend the security agreement with Iran. Iran's airstrikes against targets on Pakistani soil have dangerously escalated tensions between the two states, although it is common for armed groups on both sides to fire and exchange fire. However, these attacks have so far not involved the two armies. Iran launched airstrikes against bases in the Sunni group Jaish al-Adli, organization claiming independence for areas of southeastern Iran, which is said to be seeking independence for Balochistan province, which straddles the 1,000-kilometer borderline between the two states. Pakistan claims that the attack killed 2 children aged 11 months and 6 years and injured 2 more women and a teenage girl. Information indicates that the attack was carried out with missiles and 3 or 4 drones which hit various buildings such as a mosque and a residence. As reported by the Iranian news agency Tasnim, Iran's Revolutionary Guards and border forces launched an attack to destroy the core of the Jaish al-Adl organization, which Iran considers a terrorist organization. Iranian border forces conducted an operation against an armed cell of the Jaish al-Adl terrorist group in Rask City area. One of the terrorists was killed, and the remaining members of the cell fled. After a chase, they were located and surrounded by the forces of the Revolutionary Guards and the Border Guard Service of the Iranian Army and neutralized, the statement said. In addition, it is underlined that during the operation, several weapons, ammunition, explosives, and bomb-making equipment were discovered in the possession of the terrorists. Their plan for large-scale terrorist attacks both in Iran and in the Middle East region have been thwarted, the statement said. Iran's Foreign Minister Amir Abdollahian, I can't say these names, said at the Davos summit, "We have detailed information that the site that was targeted in Iraq was indeed the Mossad headquarters and that there was no mistake on our part. We respect Iraq's sovereignty and territorial integrity, but we will not allow our national security to be compromised. Mossad agents and operatives who harmed and targeted Iranian security were attacked with missiles. We have a security agreement with Iraq to keep Iran's borders safe. We respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Pakistan and Iraq, but we will not allow Iran's security to be compromised. We don't play around when it comes to our national security. We do not tolerate the presence of terrorists in Pakistan and Zionist presence in Erbil. We see the security of the Iraq and Pakistan as part of the security of Iran. None of the Pakistani citizens were targeted by Iranian missiles and drones. We targeted the terrorist group Jaish al-Adl, which had taken refuge in Balochistan, Pakistan. Iran has discussed this matter with Pakistani officials and authorities on several occasions regarding a response against this Iranian terrorist group on Pakistani soil. Before this meeting, I spoke with my Pakistani counterpart about this attack. A senior Pakistani official claimed that Pakistan had received no warning from Iran about the impending strike. As he said, Pakistan reserves the right to respond at a place and time chosen by the country, pointing out that it will be a measured strike and in line with the expectations of public opinion. Same kind of claims that Israel's making. Iran has set a dangerous precedent that is destabilizing and will have mutual consequences, the Pakistani official said. Pakistan's foreign ministry, which earlier called Iran's missile strikes illegal, announced it was recalling its ambassador from Iran and would not allow the Iranian ambassador to return to Pakistan. This violation of Pakistan's national sovereignty pardon me, is completely unacceptable and may have serious consequences, Pakistan's foreign ministry said. Pakistan always says that terrorism is a common threat to all countries in the region and requires coordinated action. Such unilateral actions do not conform to good neighborly relations and could undermine bilateral trust, Pakistan said. It is noted that Iran and Pakistan, which has nuclear weapons, Did anybody else catch that? Anybody else? Well, let me repeat that. It is noted that Iran, and Pakistan, which has nuclear weapons, have recently increased their cooperation as they also conducted joint naval exercises. So right there is an admission that hasn't really been made before, not on this level. So it goes on to say, what? It is noted that this missile attack took place a few hours after corresponding missile strike in Erbil in the autonomous Kurdish regions in northern Iraq. The Revolutionary Guards, which claimed responsibility for the attack, claimed to have hit the headquarters of Israel's Mossad, an argument both the Kurds and the Iraqis categorically rejected. According to local authorities, at least 4 civilians were killed in this attack, with the Iraqi government recalling its ambassador from Tehran and citing a violation of its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Such is the tension prevailing in Iraq, with Iraqi Defense Minister Tabet al-Abbasi arguing that the security agreement signed between Iraq and Iran is likely to be suspended. So, even though Iran is making the claims that it's all good in the hood, it clearly, as far as Pakistan is concerned, is not. So that's the part of it that we need to note, as well as an admission that really hasn't made its way around the news cycles a whole lot yet. I've been telling you for quite some time that Iran has nukes. 'Cause I'm not foolish. I was saying for quite some time that North Korea had them before it came out that they had them. Because I'm not foolish. Russian missiles strike Western fighters in Ukraine, says Moscow. We're going to ship over a little bit. Shift, not ship. Shift. I could have said shit. I mean, either way, we'll just slide on whatever substance it is right on over to Russia. Over 60 foreign fighters in Ukrainian service, most of them French, have been eliminated in a precision strike on a building in Kharkov, the Russian Defense Ministry said on Wednesday. Kharkov is a major Ukrainian military stronghold in the east and has been the launching pad for rocket attacks on Russian territory, including the December 30 massacre of Belgorod that killed 25 and injured more than 100. On the evening of January 16, the Armed Forces of Russian Federation carried out a high-precision strike on the temporary assembly point of the foreign fighters in the city of Kharkov, with the majority of whom were French mercenaries, the ministry said. As a result of the strike, the building in which the mercenaries were stationed was completely destroyed. More than 60 militants were killed, while over 20 were taken to hospitals, the Russian military added. The strike came on the same day the French President Emmanuel Macron announced Paris could not allow Russia to win and pledged to send 40 Scalp cruise missiles and hundreds of bombs to Kiev. Ukrainian authorities initially said that 2 missiles had struck the inactive hospital, injuring 9 people. Kharkov Regional Governor Oleg Sinigubov later said that 17 people had been wounded, 2 of them seriously. Regional police head Vladimir Timoshko, I don't know, told the outlet Suspaline that no military personnel were among the injured, only civilians, and that the target had been a civilian residential building. This is genocide, Timoshko claimed. Thousands of foreign fighters flocked to Ukraine at the start of the hostilities in Russia in 2022, only to quickly become disillusioned by the realities of modern war. Just crazy. TSUVXY. Sometimes Y, not always. Russia and Iran signed new interstate treaty, ballistic missiles and fighters. Question mark. Squiggly line with the dot. Let's see. Russian Foreign Ministry announced Tuesday that it expects President Vladimir Putin and his Iranian counterpart to soon sign a new interstate treaty, I don't care, between the two countries, which is in the final stages of agreement. Last month, amid strengthening political, trade, and military ties between Moscow and Tehran, which the U.S. and Israel view with concern, Putin held 5-hour talks in the Kremlin with Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi. Maria Zakharova, spokeswoman for the Russian Foreign Ministry, told reporters today that the new treaty will consolidate strategic cooperation between Moscow and Tehran and cover the full range of their relations. This document is not only timely but long overdue. After the signing of this treaty, the international context has changed and the relations between the two countries are experiencing an unprecedented recovery, said Zakharova, and added that the new treaty is expected to be signed during one of the next contacts, as she described it, between the two presidents. For his part, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov commented that no date has yet been set for the two to meet, the state-run TASS news agency reported. In November, the Kremlin announced that Russia and Iran were developing relations, including in the area of military technology cooperation, but declined to comment on the White House's hint that Iran may be considering supplying Russia with ballistic missiles. Iranian authorities have announced that military cooperation with Russia is expanding day by day. In November, Iran said it had completed arrangements to supply Russia with Su-35 fighter jets, Mi-28 attack helicopters, and Yak-130 trainer aircraft. So, you better bet. Things are looking kind of ugly. They really, truly are. Have some nicotine real quick. Dead batteries. How dare they? Everything else charging down there is charged, I think. Yep, even my watch. I got my butt handed to me earlier in the VTOL VR game. Like, multiple times. Like, and then I suck. But that's what makes it fun. Flying around. Fortunate Son jamming on the MP3 player. Like, literally, I did that today. The airplane, they were so nice. Or the aircraft, because they're different kinds. Actually has an MP3 player in there. There's a certain folder, in the game folder, that you put your MP3s in. And you can control it right from the panel of the plane. It's pretty cool. So I'm flying around listening to Fortunate Son. Getting my butt handed to me. Because I wasn't so fortunate. Russia reacts to Poland's invitation to German troops. Warsaw's announcement that it is prepared to invite German military units in addition to already existing NATO forces in the country, demonstrates the West's anti-Russian agenda and desire to increase tensions in Europe and will not go unanswered, said Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova. Her comments come after Polish Deputy Foreign Minister Andrzej Szczygiel, how are you supposed to say that? I mean, really, let's be realistic here. Andrzej, no, can't go there, can't do it. Stated on Monday that Warsaw was willing to host German troops on its territory for the first... How do you say that name and not spit all over the person in front of you is what I want to know. Anyway, said willing to host German troops on its territory for the first time since World War II in order to further strengthen NATO's eastern flank. It's unclear if Germany has any actual plans for such deployments. During a press briefing on Wednesday, Zakharova recalled that there were currently about 10,000 U.S. troops already stationed in Poland, as well as a multinational NATO combat tactical group, which includes military personnel from the U.S., the U.K., Romania, and Croatia. The spokeswoman pointed out that calls to deploy even more foreign forces to Poland were not necessary if these countries are peace-oriented, and can only be interpreted as a desire to further escalate tensions in Europe and prolong the collapse of pan-European security, which she said has been completely undermined by NATO. Zakharova also recalled that late last year, Germany had signed an agreement with Lithuania to increase the size of the Bundeswehr contingent in the Baltic Republic to a brigade. She suggested the Polish leaders were trying not to lag behind their neighbors in demonstrating loyalty to their older brothers from Berlin and Washington. The increased activity and strengthening of NATO's military capabilities near the borders of Russia and the Union State of Russia and Belarus is provocative and is leading to the complete degradation of the European security architecture, Zakharova said, stressing that such steps will, of course, not be left without an appropriate response from the Russian side. Spokeswoman also pondered how Poland intended to finance the potential deployment of German troops on its territory and whether it would seek compensation from Berlin, given the fact that Warsaw is already demanding $1.3 trillion in World War II reparations from Germany. Reparations demands were put forward under the former PiS government, remember that from the other day, PiS government, which was ousted from power last month. Nobody likes PiS all over the country. Poland's new government, led by former European Council President Donald Tusk, had stated that it will continue to seek these compensations from Berlin, but would work with Germany to find a favorable and fair solution without PiS all over the country, because that not a good look, yo. We're getting there. 4 more headlines left. Oh, no, I lied. 5. 5. And I need to count. Learn to count. Something like that. Attempted uprising in Russia. Clashes with police. Thousands of citizens on the street. Dozens injured. I don't know how long. Okay, it's not a super long one. Hang on, let me get a couple of vapes, a couple of drinks in, because I'm getting real froggy over here and not in a good way. Oh, man. Get everything off of chargers. Except the tablet charging right now. I've only got 5 gazillion chargers over here by me, because, like, I use them, yo. Start of the show, I was using 4 of them. And there's 2 more still. Alright. I need a big house size, like, battery backup system just for my chargers. hashtag technology. Let's see. Russia has been hit by its biggest civil protest since Putin invaded Ukraine, with 10,000 taking to the streets and violent clashes erupting over the jailing of an anti-war activist. Now you better bet that all this uprising and stuff is probably not necessarily all organic. Police and protesters clashed, and there were reports of several injuries at a protest held in the small town of Baimak in Bashkortostan, in rural region of Russia near the Ural Mountains. Bashkortostan is located 1,440 kilometers east of Moscow. It is an oil-producing region with 4.1 million inhabitants and one of the 80 administrative entities that make up the Russian Federation. According to media reports, the region of Bashkortostan is one of the regions of Russia which has exceeded the average in human losses in the war in Ukraine. The protest was sparked after an anti-war activist was jailed for 4 years for inciting hatred. This is Fyodor Alsanov, who was sentenced to 4 years in prison today on charges of insulting migrant workers in a speech he delivered April 2023 during a protest against gold mining plans in a region of Bashkortostan. In fact, at the end of 2023, he was fined for a post on the Russian social networking site Contact. Again, one of those names that you got to spit on people to say. He had characterized the war in Ukraine as a genocide against the people of Bashkiria and had written that this is not our war. Photos and videos taken during the protest showed protesters throwing snowballs and ice cubes as police responded with tear gas. Oh, well, that's fair weapons. Around 300 Special Force soldiers were deployed after law enforcement was unable to contain the angry protesters, while Russia's National Guard is said to be sending reserve forces to help. One witness stated that they beat people mercilessly. They were hit on the head and back with globes. They say someone's eye went out. According to the accounts, is one in which an imam was recruited to restore calm in a predominantly Muslim area. However, his speech had no effect. Oh, where is it? Well, I've got the Delta 1300 on the table behind me, not plugged into nothing currently. And the River 600 is in the kitchen, and it's actually plugged into the heater and then plugged into the wall. I'm using the EPS, the emergency power supply function on it, just in case. I mean, I'm not so concerned now, but over the colder days, I was more concerned about the power going out. And so that way the heater wouldn't shut off if the power went out. So yeah, that one's in there working away, and the other one, the big one, sitting here on the table behind me in case it needs to work away. Fun. Man, my throat is like, ugh. Alright. Next. Now, I hope y'all went to the bathroom so you don't piss yourself laughing here. But world wants more U.S. intervention, says Washington. I mean, they're not biased or anything. No, they wouldn't be biased about that. Article states geopolitical turmoil and conflict around the globe have made the world's nations hungrier than ever for diplomatic intervention from Washington to help deal with their crises, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has claimed. Well, considering that we're pretty much the cause for a lot of it, there is greater premium than there has ever been in our engagement on our leadership in partnership with others, Blinken told an audience on Wednesday at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. He added that Washington needs to reimagine its geopolitical partnerships to resolve global challenges such as the Israeli-Hamas war. Top diplomat made his comments as Israel's bombardment of the Gaza Strip triggers escalating tensions in the Middle East and the Russia-Ukraine conflict nears its 24th month. He claimed that many governments see Washington as key to finding solutions. Yeah, I'm hearing from virtually every country they want the United States, Blinken said. They want us present. They want us at the table. They want us leading. When Washington fails to tackle a major issue, he added, it is either handled by another nation, probably to the detriment of U.S. interest, or no one else takes the lead. Right. When other nations see the domestic investment, they want the money and the weapons. When other nations see the domestic investments that U.S. President Joe Biden is making before he poops his pants, such as funding of major infrastructure projects and climate technology, they realize that we're actually serious about ourselves, despite some of the dysfunction that may be seen on the front pages, Blinken said. Biden also has pressed for re-engagement with U.S. allies and the building of a new coalition to address specific challenges, he added. Oh. No, it won't quite work like that. You don't get the return of investment there. However, and I meant to have it up as an article to talk about, but I clearly missed it when I was going through the headlines to put up articles. But, and you may have heard this headline already, but there's a company in China that is looking to start producing nuclear batteries. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And they're not kidding. They've already got the technology. They're making it work. And not only that, there's a channel here on YouTube that, hang on. One momento. Okay, she was already approved automatically. Okay. Alright, let me find the channel because I want you guys to know the name of it. I love this guy. He's awesome. He tells you how to make a nuclear battery. He tells you how you can make one right now. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. However, he gets plenty of warnings during the video, so I would heed them. People might be thinking, well, how am I going to get... What is that thing that Bugs Bunny, you know, that space dude that kept trying to kill everybody? What was that? I can't remember the name of it. Hang on, I'm almost there. Almost there. I gotta be almost there. Oh, no, I don't know. I gotta go back up because I ran into BC's. Wait a minute, which video was that from BC? Yeah, that was the one he put out early this morning. Let me back up. Ah, here it is. It's, I had to look at what channel it was because he's got a couple. Robert Murray Smith. It's video number 2187, and it's titled The 50-Year Nuclear Battery from China and How to Make Your Own Version. He's not kidding. He makes one right on camera. He's not kidding. It involves getting I honestly think it's a PNP transistor. I don't think it's a NPN. I think it's a PNP transistor and a smoke detector. I kid you not. A transistor and a smoke detector, and you can make your own nuclear battery. And have children with two heads. I don't know. He warns about that. He's got an awesome channel, though. Let me put the... Oh, I did put the link in there. He's got an awesome channel, though, and that is the real deal. Now, mind you, it's a very, very minute amount of energy. However, that battery he shows you how to make will be producing that energy for approximately 400 years. So yeah, there's that. If you had a bunch of them and you hooked them together, you might be able to light an LED. I'm kidding. You probably wouldn't need that many to light an LED. But yeah, no joke. No joke. He showed how to do that. Did they make a nuclear airplane? I didn't know about that. Al Gore putting a windmill on his electric jet. Wow. That's pretty cool. Probably not for the pilot, but for the world of science. So, did he spend the rest of his life making money as a light bulb? Or... So yeah, no, we don't want more U.S. intervention. Even your own citizens do not want more U.S. intervention in your own country. So, thanks, but no thanks. I can't read this headline, folks. I can't. Sorry. But what I can do is slowly scroll the article so you can read it. So, and you can pause if I go too quick. Let me go a little bit further here. Poor signal when it's full strength. What are you smoking, cameras? I'm wondering if we've got some crazy sun activity today, because they've been doing that. What? That video? Is that what you're talking about? I assume you are. Yep, that video. Yeah, he's got a few subscribers, and that guy's awesome. He's got all kinds of really cool stuff. Okay, we're scrolling again. I can't read that, because if I do, good night, Irene. Good. Back up, positive, not. Two left. YouTube punishing ad blocker users, says media. I'm one of them. YouTube, bite me. Yeah, they're like literally causing our computers to be laggy and all that stuff, which I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to be doing, because we don't agree to that, and that was not an agreement that we were aware of before we clicked on the video. I don't know how all that stuff works out, but I mean, before it's all done with, what, the link to what? The last article? You want the link to the last article? Wait, the YouTube one? Hang on. The YouTube one or the Jabby Jab one? Let me know which one, and I'll make sure you got the right one. Do 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 do. The news story I have up now, which is the YouTube punishing the ad blockers thing. I can do that. I can do any of them. Let me know. So, as per the article, YouTube users who try to dodge the video platform's advertisements using the AdBlock browser extension, saying the video sharing platform is exacting revenge by throttling their computer performance. PC Gamer reported on Tuesday, citing multiple sources from Reddit's YouTube forum. Now, on this, I will tell you that I normally have two YouTube, no matter what, I normally have two YouTube pages up. One of them is my subscriptions page, and the other one is the studio page. And it's normally up, if my computer's up, normally those two YouTube pages are up. I didn't have any videos playing, nothing. And I was playing the game, and it got really stupid laggy. And the next time, the jab, okay. That's kind of the one I thought you were talking about. There you go, sir. Oops. Close down. That's why I kept it open, because I had a sneaky suspicion that's the one you wanted. So I'd, the one I couldn't read. Right on. Well, not a problem. So when I took a break from playing because I got my face blown off, before I went in again to play some more, I closed those two YouTube pages. And no lag. I mean, it was just as butter smooth as you could ever expect. So they are absolutely, yeah, I would say it's illegal. I'm gonna go with, I think it's illegal. I agree with you. We'll see, because they're gonna have plenty of lawsuits as it is, with everything, with how they're doing people and all that. All this information coming out, like the link that I just shared, because they took action against all of us for that stuff. And, for instance, I mean, we didn't get anything anyway. I don't want to make it sound like it was more than what it was, but they removed our monetization totally. They just totally wiped out our monetization. Not that we were maybe getting a penny a month, but they removed it all. And basing all of that nonsense on it. I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's going to get worse. It is going to get worse. But I also feel like if we're not all glowing beforehand, there is going to be some very serious lawsuits that get put in place. And I'm damn well going to put my name on them. All right. Last article. I wanted to make sure to get this one in there because it just shows you just how much nonsense our federal government is. Which I didn't really need to tell you that, but no joke. Feds are banning humorous electronic messages on highways. Says, it's no joke, humorous and quirky messages on electronic signs will soon disappear from highways and freeways across the country. U.S. Federal Highway Administration has given states 2 years to implement all the changes outlined in its new 1,100-page manual. That's the concise version. Released not... That's the clip notes. Including rules that spell out how signs and other traffic control devices are regulated. So it takes 2 years to say, hey, don't put goofy shit on your sign? I guess so. Administration, I went too far, I think. No, I didn't. Administration officials said overheard, if they make sound, electric signs with obscure meanings, references to pop culture, or those intended to be funny will be banned in 2026 because they can be misunderstood or distracting to drivers. Yeah, you will watch the ads and like it. And you know what? They'll probably, right, before all said and done, we're talking about the highway signs now, and how they're not going to be allowed to put funny sayings and stuff on there. But how much you want to bet at some point they're going to start running commercials on those road signs? How much you want to bet? And that'd be okay. That'd be okay. But you better not tell a joke. Unbelievable. The agency, which is part of the U.S. Department of Transportation, said signs should be simple, direct, brief, legible, and clear. Probably like your 1100-page manual, right? And only be used for important information such as warning drivers of crashes ahead. Watch the F out! Adverse weather conditions and traffic delays, seatbelt reminders, and warnings about the dangers of speeding or driving impaired are also allowed. So, I'm not going to read the rest of it. We should protest. All right. Sip of tea, couple of vapes. We'll read some headlines. We'll run out the door with our hair on fire, because tonight's a good night to do that. Right on, right on. Do you have any type of ad blocking or ad block plus or anything like that on the Brave browser? Inquiring minds want to know. And even if I'm timid and shy and a little scared, is it okay if I use the Brave browser? Hey, look at that. You put in Brave and the first thing, Brave browser. Oh, Brave, secure, fast, and private web browser with ad blocker. Nice. Oh, I've got the link right here, brother. I am heading to the download. Download Brave. Okay, I will. Desktop. Yay! Okay, but I'm not going to install it until I'm done, because otherwise it could really screw things up. And we can't have that. Oh, no. Only I can screw this show up. Oh, man. Fun times, fun times. Wait a second. Do I got another person wanting in the door? Wait a minute. What just happened there? I hope I didn't do something I didn't mean to do. Hang on. Okay, let me make sure that she's in there, and I didn't, deny her or something. Oh, no, that was the chick that was automatically approved. Okay, all good. Okay. What the heck? Oh, that's what I did. I see, said the blind man. Yeah, they've got one, but they've also got, your stocks and all that crap on it. I am not a Firefox fan. Not at all. I like fast computers. So, there's that. Authorities ordered the mandatory evacuation of 26 villages of Kharkiv. So I guess they're evacuating that because they're saying that Russian troops are increasing their attacks in that particular area. Russian economy on sustainable growth trajectory, says Ms. Huston. First trillionaire will appear by 2034, says Charity. And it damn well won't be me. EU state proposes plan to end Ukraine conflict. Russian MP calls for ban on Western beer. How dare they? Yeah, see, with AdBlock Plus, when it's working normally, you don't see nothing at all. Not anything you got to click on, nothing. There's nothing. It just goes straight to the video, which is what I'm so used to. But the last week or so has been a little insane. Let's see. EU state proposes plan to end Ukraine conflict. Russian MP calls for ban on Western... Oh, wait, I've already read them. EU state promises to stand up for Hungary. Well, yeah. and has kind of a personal humorous note to it too, because my younger brother, I guess, is a fan, or at least was a fan. I haven't talked to him in over 10 years, but he at least was a fan of Firefox. And this, by the way, this is why him and I don't talk. I mean, this was the last conversation him and I had. Because he asked me what was the most popular browser. And I told him Google Chrome. And he didn't like the answer, although it was true. And I even showed him the back end of the website I had at the time, which was SimGameIt, it got a lot of traffic. And I even showed him the Austats page that lays it all out, which browsers and blah, blah, blah. Google Chrome at the top, and nothing even anywhere close to it. Not even close to it. And he got all pissed off and said it was wrong and I was wrong and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, dude, really? So, and yeah, he hasn't talked to me since over that. And trust me, I'm not crying in my soup. I detest people like him. I'll just leave it at that. But he's like, just like my mom. To be honest, I hate defeatist people that won't lift a finger to do a fucking thing for themselves. Pardon the language. I can't stand people like that. Let's see. Eurovision winner visits Russia's Donetsk People's Republic. That stirred up a little bit of problems. West cannot let Russia win, says Macron. And he said that when they started giving him a bunch of stuff. Shell suspends Red Sea shipments, says Wall Street Journal. China tells Philippines not to play with fire. I wouldn't play with water either, because you could drown. EU state pledges to keep border with Russia closed. Germany to double defense aid for Ukraine this year. Brussels starts screening Ukrainian laws. Saudi Arabia clarifies BRICS membership reports. Let's see. Israel expects to fight Hamas for another year, says media. Kremlin spokesman lauds president's support among voters. Pakistan recalls ambassador from Iran. Data reveals huge rise in income of self-employed Russians. UK-Ukraine security deal derails peace prospects, says Moscow. Governments worldwide losing trust of people, says the UN. I wonder why. Poland, covered that one. Shares of Trump-linked companies rise after primary win. Cocaine traces detected on Hunter Biden's gun pouch, says Politico. Probably on his Speedo, too, but we won't talk about that. Washington resorts to verbal acrobats to mask Kiev flops, says Moscow. Macron announced sending 40 Scalp missiles and hundreds of bombs to Ukraine. Antony Blinken says the U.S. does not have a magic pot for financing Ukraine. Covered that. Here's that battery I was telling you about. China introduces revolutionary nuclear battery that lasts 50 years without charging. Russia says senior officer jailed for buying wrong air defense systems for Crimea Bridge. Alarm bell from NATO on the possibility of a new war, what the head of the military commission said. Russia outlines pre-election media campaign schedule. ChatGPT creator joins forces with the Pentagon. Migration to Europe to surge in 2024, says think tank. Opposition party wants to emulate Russia in Germany, says Vice Chancellor. Ukrainian statehood poses mortal danger for its people, says Medvedev. 2 NATO missiles intercepted over Kherson, says governor. Losing Russian gas has hurt Germany's economy, says minister. Covered those. EU official criticizes Germany over Ukraine aid. Covered those. Zelensky complains Russia received $2.9 billion worth of equipment from the West. And your point being, let's see, Ukraine's integration into the Russian Commonwealth, there will be no Ukraine on the historical Russian lands. Kiev is targeted again. Let's see, interview with Minister of Defense Dindias. The F-35s we will get are not enough. Drones are the future. Russia denounces historical vandalism in Dresden. Attempts to cancel Russia bound to fail, says Moscow. China turned down Zelensky, says Politico. Blinken's Boeing breaks down. I don't think it was loose bolts, though. I can't promise, but I don't think it was loose bolts. Which reminds me, just in case, Steve, you're going to like this. You'll probably want me to send it to you. Hang on, let me find it. I posted it earlier. Oh, I bet it's over on this side of the fence. And there it be, yo. There you go, Steve. This is a Boeing jet. Should bolts loosen, wrenches will fall from the overhead compartment. I love it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the headline that I cannot read. Zelensky throws shade at Chinese PM. I told you about... Oh, well, I didn't read the headline, though. Arnold Schwarzenegger detained... I was trying to do my best not to say that wrongly. Detained at German airport. And I was close, too. Not that I was trying, but, yeah. I have a problem trying to say his name. Sometimes it doesn't quite come out right. Let's see. Oh, and this guy, I want to know what kind of dope he's smoking and who his dealer is. We won on the ground. We are winning at sea. In 2024, the goal is to win in the sky as well. And he's speaking on Ukraine's behalf. So I don't even know if that's weed, man. That's probably like mushrooms or, I don't know, salvia, a baseball bat to the head. I don't know. Russian giants are permanently leaving Cyprus, says mass departure of companies. Brussels will have to act if Poland violates EU laws, says official. Court orders forced feeding of ex-Polish minister. That's straight crack. Oh, man. Let's see. Ukraine has bet on losers, says ex-Zelensky aide. Zelensky rages at Ukrainian MPs. Since you don't approve conscription law, go to the front yourself. Hey, I'm all for that. I'm all for the leaders of these countries having to send their kids first. Their kids should have to go first before anybody else. That'll stop war real damn quick. The point says Ukraine will lose access to the sea, Odessa and Kharkiv. Latvia says the alliance will turn the Baltic Sea into a NATO lake. It will close it to Russia. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Because Russia's got these little things called hypersonic missiles that are specifically designed to take out ships. So if you're talking about having a big old lake of fire, you're probably right. CBS News says Ukraine fears the fatal without U.S. help. It will suffer military annihilation. With U.S. help, they're going to suffer annihilation. So, German lawmakers vote down Taurus missiles for Ukraine. Analysis says Russia won, West lost war, leading French thinker Emmanuel Todd shocks. Let's see. U.S. launches new... I covered that and that. Ukraine tumbles in global firepower rankings. And lastly, thank goodness, socialism threatens the West, says the Argentine leader. That's a tad bit of news. Just a tad. I am glad that I'm done with the tad. Man, that's a hell of a lot of news. On that note, I am gonna boogie out of here and try to get some sleep tonight. I'm gonna make sure I don't get so hot so I don't have nightmares. I'm pretty sure that's probably what happened. Anyway, I am, this dad is going to bed. Me too, brother. Me too. Anyway, I am out of here, folks. You have a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully the news won't be so crazy, but I got this feeling. Yep. All right, folks. You all have a good one, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.